Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. The best way is if you became a millionaire, would you keep working? I want to tell you guys something. What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out about crypto. My name is Ben. We're talking balls.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. Today is November 10th. It is Thursday. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Skipped over that the last few episodes. It's been such a whirlwind. I don't even know how to start the episode anymore. How are we feeling? You see the background behind us. I'm hoping that you're feeling a little bit better. I'm hoping that you didn't panic sell. And if you did buy the dip, I mean, don't be afraid to take some profits because things have been a little volatile. TJ, how are you feeling this morning compared to yesterday as far as bullishness and bearishness for the whole economy, crypto economy?
Bullishness, bearishness for the whole economy.
Or for crypto, I mean.
That's a tough one to answer right off.
Do you feel a little bit better? Do you feel a little bit worse?
I'm feeling whiplashed. I'll say that much. I'm feeling, I guess, better. If you want to go strictly by price, I mean, we're back well above 17, pushing 18,000 right now. What I always do, though, on days like today, I wear my Bitcoin bull jersey, because just to remind myself, kind of what got me. There you go. Buy Bitcoin,
Yeah.
it's the reason we're in this stuff.
Well,
so
the rest of the shirt says Bitcoin Cash on mine, so mine's a little bit different. Buy Bitcoin Cash.
Controversial.
Oh wait, no, that's my other one. Sorry, I left that one. That one's in the dry cleaners. I keep that one really spick and span and nice. All right, well, let's get right into it. Thank you for watching. If you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's really get this video out there into the algorithms. Watch all the audiences come on over and say, hey, wait a minute, is it not a scam? What do you mean it's going up? We check out NFT Alpha. We're almost at 21,000 subs. Was going to do an XRP wallet video, but there's been a lot of tumultuous activity lately. So, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Go to the Twitter. I've been just past 38,000. I was 37.8 yesterday. So appreciate everybody hitting the follow button. I just been tweeting about Cardano. Cardano been holding up pretty well. I did put out this take. Bitcoin and NFTs will keep crypto alive during the bear market. Now, I know you can't kill crypto, but when I say keep it alive, a little tongue-in-cheek meaning there, it's what's going to keep people here. It's what's going to keep people feeling like there is a future. And I feel like Bitcoin and NFTs are just kind of the main use cases right now. Obviously, stablecoin, but you don't stay in crypto during the bear market when you're feeling most fearful, because one day I'll use a stablecoin to buy my coffee. That doesn't get anyone excited, but Bitcoin, giving economic freedom to people all over the globe, and NFTs and the possible use cases in the future. And if you're like me, you have a little too much money tied in your illiquid JPEGs. So you're really, that's what keeps you excited.
So you're really invested in NFTs.
I'm really,
right?
Yeah. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. Maybe
if
I'm
you can't
biased.
get out, that's one way to keep you in, I guess.
Yeah, I got to do something. Luckily I sold most of my liquidity in Solana NFTs, but unfortunately I didn't sell enough Solana there. So I'm feeling a little bit of pain from that. Also retweeting. There's been, I've been poking a little bit of fun. This is, one of the early investors in Solana. I forget his name right there. But just so much hate was being thrown Cardano's way, and how Solana's so much better and the centralized. And, we need to, sometimes you got to ship code. And you hear the founder saying, they're trying to build this imperial palace when they're talking about Cardano. And sometimes you just got to ship code. When you code, you got to ship code. And I think in the long run, looks like Charles Hoskinson was doing the right thing. So shout out to Chuck. Big fan of Chuck. All right, if you're a big fan of the channel and you're a big fan of crypto, maybe check out this book, Catching Up to Crypto. Really hoping for big things. I really want us to get on the New York Times bestseller list. I would love to see a New York Times review. Now, what do you think? How is Ben going to react to the reviews? Do you think he's going to take it personal? Is he going to frame them?
No, I think
he's going to come after them.
I think he'll like it. I mean, we're used to it. Obviously, when you're live on YouTube every day, you get reviews and comments on every single piece of content you put out. So I don't think a book will be any different. We'll see. I think people really enjoy it, because I think it does get people up to speed really quickly. It covers a lot of ground in crypto. Obviously, a lot's happened. Things like what's been going on the last couple of days, it feels like we'll have to do an update. You're going to have to do volume 2 for the next, just for what's happened in 2022.
Yeah, someone did point out that was the guy from the second Star Trek. No, he wasn't the early seed investor. That was them playing with that. Tom writing, not Tom Crown. We are going to have Tom Crown in a little bit. He's going to help us decipher these Bitcoin levels and maybe some levels to look at in the near future. But Tom Halford saying, I don't know how much more of this I can stand.
Yeah.
And that makes me think of Tether. If I don't think Tether's collapsing. Again, this
No.
is crypto. Who knows? There's a lot of things I never would have predicted that happened, did end up happening. Some of my predictions come true. The ones, it's not so much my predictions are wrong. Sometimes things just happen out of left field that you didn't even make a prediction on it because you didn't even think of the possibilities of these things happening. But Tether going down obviously would be terrible. Coin market cap, though, we're looking at it right now. It's saying, oh, well, it just said $1. Yeah, it's still saying $1 USDC. Binance USD still looking good. But if we look at the prices here, we have Bitcoin, up 4%, but Ethereum up 14%. Take a look at the dominance. Ethereum looks like it was, I believe, 18.6 yesterday, now down to 18.1. The Bitcoin dominance, 37.9. I'm hearing a lot of people saying we need to get Bitcoin dominance to 50% before we can have a real washout of all the crappy tokens out there. What do you think? I mean, is 50% still doable with the robust reserves of stablecoins?
I mean, it's definitely doable, and I would understand the thought process there. I mean, that would be traditional with the past. I still think 50% is doable. I mean, at one point, people were talking 55, even 60, which obviously
60.
seems a little bit more out of reach at this point, in my opinion. But yeah, it is interesting to see how much is going into stables compared to watching. In a market collapse like this, both the dominance for Bitcoin and Ethereum dropping, obviously, rather than in the past, we've seen a lot more of it poured back into Bitcoin. So,
yeah, and I mean, I think it's certainly possible, but I just don't know. I mean, we'll see if there's a huge run on Tether. Yeah, if they cash out, 8 billion, and then USDC cashes out billions. Yeah, that 50% does seem a reasonable number, but unless there's a big cashing out of stable coins, I don't know 50%. I think as we continue, stable coins will grow to a larger and larger piece of that pie, passing even Bitcoin one day. That's now, I don't know if a particular stable coin will pass Bitcoin, but I think as an aggregate, they will pass it. I don't know what kind of timeline. If I had to guess, maybe 2.5 cycles from now. If we go back to the coin market cap here, BNB up 7.5%, XRP up 10%, Cardano up 6%. Let me click maybe later here. I don't know why they always throw that in after the fact. Keep scrolling down. Doge up a considerable amount, and Polygon.
Yeah.
I was lamenting that I closed the short too early. Ended up looked like a pretty good call because a 25% gain, I think I would have definitely been wiped out there, at least stopped out. Solana in the positive today. 13%. We're going to get Tom's views on the TA side, but what are your thoughts on just the macro side that Solana is up 13% after all this activity?
I mean, I think it's just a reflection of the market overall as a whole. Like when you see a huge drop like that and then a big bounce, obviously we've got a lot of things in the 20 plus, Aptos, who was getting hit the hardest, bounced, Chili's, Loopring, Chainlink, we got all kinds of stuff that are bouncing pretty hard off of yesterday's collapse. I would still obviously be very careful with Solana, especially depending on where you're trading it at. There's still going to be a lot of volatility, I think, around FTT and Solana, and a lot of crazy kind of moves being made both directions. So until all this stuff settles out, I mean, last look at it, supposedly Justin Sun maybe stepping in now at this point, which, speaking of crazy predictions, that's what you were saying the other day. Where's Justin Sun? And
where is Justin Sun? He's going to trigger that. The reverse is in. We are going to I want to ask Tom about the possibility of a double bottom. Is it out of play now that we went a little bit lower? But when you zoom out from 69K, 17.5 to, I believe, 16.8, I have to double check that. Maybe, is the double bottom still in play? All right, we continue to move down the list here. There are a couple other big winners. Avalanche up 15%. Litecoin, I know Tom's feeling good about that one because look at Litecoin's weekly. Actually held up very strong compared to the rest of the market. If we scroll up, I mean, 2% is better than Ethereum, better than Polkadot, obviously better than Solana. So shout out to the people who believed in Litecoin. We have Chainlink up 15%, Atom up 15%. Let's just check out some of the top gainers and losers before we bring Tom on. Maker. Okay, so Maker looks like it could be poised to be one of the winners of this DeFi There's going to be a lot of implosion due to FTT. Now, this is all speculation, but when I see that number and makers leading the top 100 of all the gainers, that makes me think that maybe they have less exposure. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would imagine they probably have less exposure, and it could be, yeah, you're saying potentially people moving from other DeFi plays to something more stable and Maker.
Yeah,
people that are trying
because these people they have this capital. When you have capital in the billions, you don't want it to just sit there and just bleed. Especially if you're a long-term believer in Ethereum. If you have no plans of cashing out Ethereum for 10 years, why wouldn't you want your Ethereum to earn more Ethereum? You don't care about the short-term price action. And so, yeah, these people, there's people out there with millions of Ethereum, millions of Ether. And yeah, they're going to want to deploy that. And so they can, end up getting some gains. Going back, Aptos leading the way, Matic, Terra Classic, Loopring, Chiliz, Ethereum. If we look at the top losers, I'm almost scared to look. What is this going to look like?
FTT's got to be there. Yeah, still going down.
Well, number one was fairly easy to guess there. That was really weird.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh?
Bounced right on the
Did it
spot.
just go past a weird bounce? If we look at the 7-day, 24 hours, yeah, that was a little bit strange. That might just be an API issue there. Let's see. Go back to losers.
Well, they might have been pulling it out of the API. They should be pulling it out.
Yeah, I don't think it fell out of the top 100. Yeah, that's weird, and now it's just gone.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll keep an eye out on that.
Live
one. Yeah.
delisting of FTT from CoinMarketCap right there.
It's sitting next to Hex now. It's like 502 or where they bury Hex.
Yeah.
Is it like 900 or 1,000
page.
or something like that? All right. Well, before we pull up the chart, what is Tom doing? Tom is hanging out in the sidelines. He's looking at his Litecoin bag, saying, "I knew I was right. I knew I was right." Tom, where are you at? Is he hanging around here?
Yep.
Tom, what's going on, man? Glasses looking sharp as
I'm here,
always. I gotta start wearing sunglasses.
Thank you,
on stream,
DZ.
man. It just makes you look cooler.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. That's the only reason I do it.
And he has
It's
the
great
baby
to be here.
blues, and he's hiding them.
Oh, yeah. It's great to be here, man. I'm always on in the morning on the spiciest days. I don't know
Yeah,
if
you
you guys
are.
plan this, but I feel like it's the first thing I say every time.
Wait,
So
are
it's
you
great
the
to
one
be
that
here.
liquidated FTX? Is that what
Right.
you're saying? Okay, I knew it.
No,
That house.
no.
There's a lot of money there somewhere.
I sold all my FTT, right? But yeah, it's great to be here, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube at Tom Crown, and I just got my check mark on Twitter for $8. So
Hey.
lots of big news there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, dude. So what's going on? We got CPI numbers came in. The annual rate of inflation in the US fell by more than expected for the first time. We've seen like month over month higher inflation, which has given the Fed no room to really wiggle. And we're finally potentially seeing it here. This could be kind of the first event that leads to the end of the current cycle of interest rates. This is very exciting. I don't know if it's moon now up only exciting, but this very well could be the beginning of kind of the turnaround of the hawkishness we've been seeing. I think the numbers came in at 7.7%. They were forecasted at about 8%. And this is a big deal. I don't want to get everyone too excited, but this is a big deal. And especially with what we've seen, in the last 48 hours, we've seen some really brutal price action. It's been very uncomfortable. We're going to jump into that. It's pretty wild, pretty crypto to see just all turn around kind of today off this little piece of good news. So let me share some charts here.
Yeah, I did have that one question. I don't know
up.
if you heard. I was
Yeah.
asking about the potential that a double bottom is forming. Those who don't know, double bottom is good in TA terms because kind of signals that there is strong support for a certain level. Now, we went a little bit lower. So what is your opinion? I mean, is there a possibility one plays out? Obviously, you could go lower 10 minutes from now, 10 seconds from now. So what are your thoughts on the double bottom?
I was all about that. Today's Thursday, so I think Tuesday, man, crypto time. It's been like a few days.
Yeah.
Sam Bankman-Fried lost $15 billion in that time. We live in a crazy world. I was looking at that and hoping for a double bottom. We did see a really pretty double bottom potential on Coinbase 2 days ago. Unfortunately now, after trading down to 15.5, I think double bottom is out of the picture.
A little bit lower
But-
than I was. Yeah, I
but-
didn't realize some exchanges actually went that low.
That's not the only reversal pattern. With this lower low, we can see some kind of falling wedge. We could see a descending channel. There's other patterns that we can look for reversal. So I'm not too sad about that. But I think double bottom is probably not, that's too big of a difference. But what we are seeing is the dollar we could be falling out of this parabolic trend. I drew this curve. Curves are never to be trusted. But today we saw the dollar. I'm just going to go to the hourly. We saw the dollar today dump 2% in an hour off of this CPI news. That is big. Forex does not typically move like that. Markets are absolutely looking to price in maybe a 50 BPS coming up. What is it? December 14th. We've been seeing kind of these more aggressive talk, more aggressive hikes. I think that the market's saying, hey, with this CPI number, we're likely going to see that cool off here. And that's going to be a great sign for markets abroad, not just crypto, really everything. I expect to see a little bit of green. To do a little more charts for you, this is what I've been watching. The total crypto market cap. I think that this is going to be my favorite chart moving forward. In June, it bounced perfectly off the high. I think I said that here before, of 2018. And actually yesterday, it broke that high. But this, DZ, maybe this is your double bottom. This is a little bit closer. This is a little more realistic. It's only, I'd say, a fraction of a percent off. We did push through that low. I was sad to see that. But now into today, we're seeing buyers come in. That's a big green candle. We might even look to bullish engulf. Like, this chart is looking pretty decent, and that's giving me some hope for sure. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing there.
Okay, is the volume profiles matching the, you know, that there was people ready to scoop up, or did they come in like at the last second? Were these buy orders that have been sitting there for years potentially, or is this, you know, some whale came in and market bought?
Well, total crypto market cap, you know, you can't trade that directly. So there weren't orders there in that sense.
Well, I guess more so for Bitcoin then.
For Bitcoin, man, yesterday was wild. That was just a wild day to watch the charts. It really dumped hard fast. I don't think there really were. I think really the markets were kind of in free fall yesterday, and then into the CPI news, all of a sudden people got a little more bullish. Buyers came in. 15.5 is a really random price point. I don't see that as like a macro level that we've seen in the past. So it is weird to see it bounce there. And my only explanation is seriously the dollar reacting to CPI and markets getting a little more bullish on that news as well.
Okay, someone in the chat, you know, I'm not trying to put you in a tough spot here or any kind of gotcha moment. Well, where were you on the night of Tuesday the 7th? Okay. No, where did you call that was the bottom previously? And, you know, obviously it wasn't the bottom. I mean, are you saying this is the bottom? What's your bottom prediction? And obviously, you know, things can change and this is a probability. You're not saying 100%.
Yes. I have been wrong about the bottom. I didn't think we were going to go below 20. I didn't think that we were going to break 17.5. So I've been wrong in the past about the bottom, and I found that calling the bottom is a risky game. Really,
wait, crypto price predictions are risky? We don't know anything about that at BitBoy Crypto.
Yeah, right. It really, in crypto, in my experience, the bottom is always going to be a time that no one thinks it's the bottom. So by that kind of counterintuitive logic, maybe the bottom's in. I'm not going to say the bottom's in. I'm definitely going to say things are looking good, at least up until the next FOMC meeting. If somehow they come in hawkish again and say, oh, these numbers aren't good enough, you know, we could really easily see equities and everything sell off again. But to acknowledge the spot, I've been wrong about the bottom. I'm bullish, man. It's gonna go up eventually.
I too just lean so heavily bullish. I don't even try to trade bear markets typically. It's just something like I don't like clicking sell. You know, when I'm opening any kind of spot trade there. Hard. But someone did also ask a super chat asking about ETH. I noticed the last Bitcoin dump, which was higher than this one. ETH dumped to about $850. This time ETH was a little bit stronger. But oftentimes we see, you know, there's things will be delayed. You know, maybe ETH is a week behind Bitcoin. Maybe it's a month behind Bitcoin. Sometimes it's just one day behind Bitcoin. Do you think that ETH can go below 1,000 in the short term?
Well, actually, yesterday it traded to about 1,000. It didn't break 1,000. I didn't plan on talking about Ethereum. I have been talking about this on our streams, though. It's a really interesting setup. Bitcoin broke its June low, but we're seeing these big market caps like Ethereum, ADA, what else? You know, whatever you can throw at it. Many charts did not break their lows, and that's showing kind of relative strength against Bitcoin. Ethereum held up pretty well, bounced off 1,000.
What do you think of the possibility? Do you think it's possible that people are rolling Solana into alts over Bitcoin?
Oh man, Solana. I really think that just the Sam Bankman-Fried thing, Solana is just taking a beating because to my knowledge, he is either very invested or very in the project. I'm not an expert on Solana. I don't really think any of this has to do really with necessarily what Solana's doing. But
I felt like I
it
saw. Well,
definitely
the
shows
reason I
that
say
people are
that,
feeling alts.
the reason I say that, I felt like I saw a lot of people on Twitter timeline. This is anecdotal, and I understand the value of that,
Mhm.
but I'm trading in my Solana for Ethereum. I'm trading in my Solana for Cardano. Now, I have a distorted
Okay.
view. A lot of these people are in the NFT scene, but I didn't really see anyone saying I'm trading in my Solana for Bitcoin. And so that's
It
kind of where I
shows.
was coming from for when it comes to
Yeah, no,
people's trading their Solana in for a different token.
it's a good point. It's a good point. Like we are seeing favor in alts. And I will also say this is uncharacteristic of a bear market. You guys were talking about Bitcoin dominance earlier. And in a bear, well, at least the one cycle we have, the previous bear market, we saw Bitcoin dominance rise. And we haven't really seen that in this bear market. It's very unusual, at least to the history we have. I don't have an explanation for it. You guys did talk about
My guess
stable
is stable
coins.
coins. Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think,
this if you look at
I don't
Tether
know.
market cap and USD market cap and DAI market cap and USDD market cap, I mean, it's a lot different than it was
They're
2 years
big.
ago. They're much bigger.
They're definitely. I think really we should calculate Bitcoin dominance without stable coins.
I
I
agree. I
think
think that would be a
I
new
really don't
chart.
think it makes sense to include them.
Yeah.
And I think though, if you look at it, I still don't think we have that same movement. So I'm not going to say that means we're in a bull market, bottoms and something, but it's unusual and it's something we should pay attention to. Absolutely. Alts really are doing very well here. Most of
All right. Well,
them, with
speaking of
a handful
alts,
of exceptions, aren't.
congratulations on Litecoin. I was looking at the weekly. Litecoin is only down 2% on the week. Everything else is about 10x that. So, how do you explain the Litecoin? I mean, was it just? I know you're talking about it bled so many satoshis. It was due for a bounce. Did that just finally play out?
Well, I think what you see here is Litecoin's price really has been pushed down. It's been pushed down for a long time. The whole market, and maybe we're seeing this with alts too, or other alts, is the whole market's pushed down. We see this kind of dumping event. They don't have as much to drop. They have a much more concrete support built. I think that's what we're seeing on Litecoin. I could talk about like fundamentals and advancements, but that's nobody cares about that. Everyone just cares about the price. And I think really when you push something down, you kind of just create this strong support and it has less wiggle room. And maybe things that rallied really hard in the last month, which I can't name any, those have a lot more to fall. I mean, I don't think FTT really rallied in the last month. But if you want to look at a train wreck, FTT traded down to $1 in 2 days. It went from 22 to $1. Now it's back at 381. That's like a 99% drop. Like we are definitely seeing exodus of capital from different projects, FTT being the obvious one. I'm actually pretty interested. Solana, I was watching it yesterday and it has support at like 1250. And I said, guys, under 1250, there's really nothing until like $5. This is really dangerous. Solana bounced 1250. It's back up to almost 20 now. Like that's pretty exciting actually if you're a Solana person.
Yeah, I didn't capitulate. I didn't sell my Solana. I feel a little bit better now that it is up significantly. I didn't sell my FTT. I remember looking at it last night. I pulled open my MetaMask. It wasn't even. It's not a whole lot. It wasn't even on my MetaMask mobile. I had to add the token. Oh, there it goes. And I saw it was less than $100, and I'm like, am I really going to trade this for a few dozen? I actually just left it there. So I just took the L on that for the grander ecosystem. So I didn't contribute to the dumping pressure, but yeah, I had a bag long time ago when I scooped up some KuCoin shares. I picked up a little FTT. I can't remember what else I bought, but I was on an exchange run there. I think it was because Crow popped. I think it was right after Crow, and I was trying to chase what's the next exchange coin to pop. And yeah, obviously should have moved a little bit more quickly to protect my capital there. Well, are there any other, before we run, are there any other coins that are really, showing like just crazy volatility, contrary to even how relatively calm today is?
I would say yes. So I'll do just two really quick and then pull up the other one. So one is fan favorite, I guess, or maybe not anymore. Dogecoin. Dogecoin doing
Good. I'm glad
really
you brought
good
Doge.
here,
People are
man.
asking about Doge.
Doge doing really good. Oh, I know they want to talk about it. Doge had a great rally, and this is kind of what I was saying about Litecoin. Doge rallied pretty hard right before this drop, so it fell, comparatively harder. I think that's a big explanation, but Doge had solid support at about 7.8 cents. It looks like it's held. It's bullish engulfed on the day. Like I was talking about this yesterday as it was falling, and I was saying this is showing some nice strength here. I'm kind of liking this. It's weird to say. The other
Yeah,
one
I
I
tried to
talk
buy
about, I
that
feel like
dip.
every
I
time I'm
should've.
here, B man, BNB just will not stop. This is BNB's value against Bitcoin and pretty much only up. It's kind of ignored the whole bear market. Reminds me of Link in 2018. The whole market was dumping and Link kept gaining against Bitcoin. It set an all-time high 2 days ago. Those are the two kind of, which I wouldn't say is an outlier. BNB total outlier here with new all-time highs against Bitcoin during kind of this, just dumping. Those are the ones I'm keeping an eye on for today, I'd say.
Okay, yeah, BNB. I mean, it had quite that drop too, from basically 400 to 300 just in a day or two. Good to see that it's still recovering. All-time high against Bitcoin. It's be one to keep an eye out on. I have a small bag. I went too deep into the BNB ecosystem, and I traded some BNB for some coins. Probably shouldn't have, but still got my little BNB, and I'm just sitting on it. If it does dip more, that is one I'll be looking to accumulate more. But we'll see. Now, Tom, anything else you want to say before we part?
Man, it's been a crazy 72 hours, guys. If you're still here, congrats. Pat yourself on the back. I can't promise you that the pain's over, but that's about as much pain as we get. Like that was wild. We had 150 days of boring. All of a sudden, in like what seemed like a snap, everything was dropping out of the sky. Everyone was freaking out. And get used to it. That's crypto.
I hope it doesn't get worse. The Tether contagion would be catastrophic. That's when you're looking at 3-digit ETH and that 4-digit Bitcoin. But let's hope. Everyone keeps bringing up Cardano. What are your thoughts on Cardano? Is it looking good, poised as an emerging L1?
Let me pull this up so I have a reference. I know it was looking decent the other day, kind of comparatively. Do I not have the chart?
Yeah, when things were dropping, it did relatively okay.
It had held 41 cents for like the entire year. Let me take a look.
Yeah, it was
Actually,
a stable coin.
Wow, Cardano. Okay, I did not pay enough attention to this. Cardano held 41 cents like all year. It was in a really bearish pattern, and it did break down. It looks like it broke down last week, went back to 41 cents, rejected, but yesterday hit 31 cents, and that was the support I've been waiting for to hit, hovering at 41. I was like, this is gonna hit 31 at some point. And now it's back up to 37. It looks like it wants to bullish engulf. ADA is definitely not looking bad. I want to warn everyone, this can be my last thought. Today is probably really exciting because everything's green. This is crypto, and so kind of I would expect tomorrow we'll have some of this excitement squashed. I'm not making a claim on any kind of specific thing, but that just seems to be the pattern. Oh, now we're going back up. Wouldn't be surprising to have a little pain tomorrow. So keep calm, keep rational. Don't let your emotions take control. They'll always guide you in the wrong way. Take a break, walk away. If you still feel the same way, then do whatever it is that you're thinking about. Play it safe.
All right. Thank you. And I'll leave with Metaspawn's words. Long live the Litecoin King. Thank you very much, Tom. Make sure you're sub to his channel. He's been crushing it with the live streams. He live streams CPI numbers, inflation numbers, and has really, really been doing a good job lately. So big fan of Tom, a friend of the channel. Met him in real life. He's a great guy. How long have you known Tom?
I think the first time I met him in person was Bitcoin Miami.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So but his channel is pinned in the chat and has been that whole time. So yeah,
awesome.
Check that
Awesome. All right. Well, speaking of Bitcoin, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin traders are furiously buying dip as open interest surges to 380,000 Bitcoin. The plunge below 16 was something that most of the market was not expecting only a week ago. However, the reaction of traders and investors was not as bad as one might think. According to the market data, the participants are actively longing Bitcoin without looking back at what happened yesterday. So the bears have maybe lost control when it comes to the open interest there. The most interesting part of this tendency is the behavior of investors who have their funds locked on FTX. Majority who are unable to withdraw are developing extremely high risk tolerance, betting
Yeah.
almost 100% of their portfolios on the growth of Bitcoin, despite the most recent price action. I am a JPEG junkie. You're a JPEG junkie. We are all JPEG junkies. Thank you, unforgettable name. In a few hours, millions worth of SOL will be released, potentially causing a catastrophe. Now, I believe the time had passed because when I was looking at it yesterday, it was last night. It was 11 hours away. I figured it was going to happen while I was sleeping. I haven't seen the major dump, so this a story we will keep an eye out on. What is that Solana doing? Is it being sold? Has it moved? Is it still just sitting there? I'm gonna look into that this afternoon, and if there is any developments, we'll definitely cover it. All right, legendary trader Peter Brandt is seriously worried about Bitcoin for one reason. He still has a lot of hope despite the plunge below 16. He's been ready for almost anything on the crypto market. He's worried about the direction in which the assets will start moving in the near future because of this unpleasant fact. His biggest concern is that no previous bear has taken prices below the high of the previous bull. He's saying this could be a game changer. That had stuck as soon as we fell below 20. Essentially, that metric was just thrown out the window. You can see plunge below the 21, unfortunately, pushed it even lower. So I felt like that was inevitable. I mean, I was caught by surprise just like everybody else. But if you start thinking about it, I mean, with the less volatility, it was due to happen. You can't just keep doing, you can't do a 20x and then just continue to not touch your previous all-time high. You're going to have to reach this point. And then, the 20x then became a 3.5x. And so as we became less volatile, it's going to kind of smooth out. And as it smooths out, a 10% direction in either way is going to be a lot more impactful versus, when the market cap was smaller. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I too was taken aback when we fell below 20. I thought it was going to hold. I was one of those people. Hit that like button. If you're one of those people, I mean, you kind of felt that way too, right? 20 is just so strong and it probably won't fall below that despair. Now I'm saying this is how we felt 18 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I felt like 20 was a pretty strong number. I felt like before, I mean, even I had always been on record saying 20 that we could see a quick wick to 17, like a day where something we've seen the past few days where craziness happens and then it recovers very quickly. Which will be interesting to me to see how much more price fallout there is from this. We all know there's going to be market fallout from Alameda and this FTX stuff, but this strong bounce from the CPI number, like who's really in control? Is it the macro industry or is it still the Fed and the CPI and inflation and that sort of stuff?
Veteran traders always say the Fed,
right? It feels like, and that's kind of what Time was saying today. The CPI and the Fed actions are still what's going to dictate the price of the market, and the liquidity and a lot of these other internal issues probably won't affect the price as much going forward. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I know the longer I'm in the space, the more power I'm given to the Fed and it's, macro.
Well, they've definitely shown their power this year, no doubt.
Yeah. All right. U.S. government owns more than 1% of the total Bitcoin supply. Will they dump it? They now hold 214K Bitcoin, making up over 1% of the cap supply. Of course, it will be 21 million total, much less than that in circulation. This is after they just grabbed 50K Bitcoin from TJ's neighbor, essentially. No, he didn't know him, but it was our neighbor, an hour away.
Lake Arrowhead. North Georgia.
We didn't know him. I would not be wearing this old Bitcoin shirt if I did know him. All right, U.S. attorney announces historic 3.36 billion seizure and conviction in connection with the Silk Road fraud. Here you can see, I thought they said a popcorn tin. That doesn't look like the popcorn tin. So he had it hidden.
No, it doesn't.
He had it hidden basically in a safe that was inside the floor. Then he had, they said he just had almost like a single board computer. I wonder what it actually looked like.
Well, they said 50,000 from this one. What's the total? Where's the other, they said 200,000 total?
Yeah, 214. So we're looking at 164. I know a lot of that is from the IRS. I know a little bit of that is from the Department of Justice. So I think once you combine FBI, Department of Justice, IRS, and this latest thing, now, I don't think they have it all in one wallet. And
I'm just curious where they got. I know they got the other one from that other Bitfinex hack. That's got to be another like 20 to 50. That's got to be another like 50,000 Bitcoin. So there's 100. I'm just curious, where is this Mount Gox stuff that they're holding still? Does that count in this amount?
Yeah, I wonder if there's like how much is whales? What's the percentage of whale amounts? What's the percentage of like small seizures? Maybe they broke down some doors, people getting crazy drugs delivered to their house. Maybe they seized Bitcoin like in small amounts that really wasn't reported. That'd be interesting. There's a lot of court cases and financial fraud that doesn't get reported on. And, maybe there are, I don't want to say secretive, but maybe plea deals being made with crypto people not paying taxes. Maybe things are seized because they'll seize assets. And why wouldn't they seize someone's Bitcoin just like they would seize their boat? They seize their home. I'm sure there's some people who didn't pay their taxes who got cracked down.
There it is right there. There's another 69,000 that was seized from individual X.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just curious. 200,000. That's a lot of Bitcoin.
That is a lot because the 70 plus 50, that's only 120. So there's still like a lot of still basically another 100,000 to be accounted for. So where did that come from? And then there's the secretive amounts, and this is all speculation, but I'd be willing to bet the CIA is a large holder of it because there are things called black book operations where you don't want accounting, and what better than to use cryptocurrency for something like that?
Good point.
But who knows? And plus, on a certain level, it's a national security thing for
research,
second and third order effects of impending collapses of economies decades from now. Trying to use my words carefully here. All right, Bitcoin jumps as U.S. CPI rose just 0.4% in October, with the annual pace slowing to 7.7. All right, we are now only in what would you say, Soviet Union range there?
I know, right? Like that's what kills me. Is like we're only inflating 7.7%. That's still a lot of inflation. It's crazy to see markets pump like crazy off of that news.
Yeah, it's just like Czechoslovakia in 92. Yeah. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
all right. The CPI rose, just slowed to 7.7 versus estimates for 8. Some estimates of 7.9 and down from 8.2 in September. So we fell 0.5% from the month previous. Prior to the print, future tradings on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME, saw an equal chance to go with either 50 or 75 basis point hike. After the report, the chance for a 50 increased to 74%. While Bitcoin's only having a modest rally, equity futures are soaring, and the slowdown might mean the tightening cycle could be over sooner than previously feared. Nasdaq futures are higher just by 4%, and S&P 500 futures are ahead by 3%. Bond markets are in rally as well, with the 10-year yield down 21 basis points. So we're seeing a lot of good news, but there's also a lot of Wall Street loves when people get fired. They just do. It's just a fact of the market. And so there are a lot of, Meta takes a huge portion of the S&P 500, and they just fired 11,000 people. The market's rallied, I think, 8% on that news. And so some of it's going to be, from the Fed stuff, but there's also a lot of firings happening in the growth sector right now, and Wall Street's just loving that they're, getting rid of some of these headcounts here. Dollar slumps after CPI data suggests Fed may ease rate hikes. We saw that on Tom's chart. You saw that gigantic red wick, and you saw it's breaking that trend line. The dollar fell sharply on Thursday after it rose less than expected last month, and data pointed to underlying inflation having peaked, opening the way for them to slow their aggressive interest rate hikes. The dollar index fell 1.5% and fell. Fed funds futures priced in a sharp decline in expectations for the peak target rate, which fell below 5%. And, just previously, like that story, the likelihood of 50 basis points is now 75, raised to 75 and 71%. So the markets are feeling like 50 basis points could be the new number moving forward, and then maybe eventually 0. So maybe the string of 75 basis points is coming to an end, and the markets are going to love it. Little super chat here, 55. I think that's pounds.
Yeah.
TJ, you want to read it? It's to you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it looks pounds or euros. TJ, you're spot on. What are your thoughts on the cycle after 2025? Are you going to sell BTC and ETH at the top and buy back in another market? Yeah.
What is the selling strategy next bull run?
That's
a
good
good question.
Yeah, to sell. I try to keep. I've learned in this cycle to keep it simpler. Sell in 24 and 25. Buy in 26 and 27. Sell in 28, 29. Buy. Just stay on the Bitcoin cycle until that breaks. Until it stops working, we'll just stick with it. But yeah, generally speaking, sell into 2025 and take profits. Now, if you're accumulating, you want to stack some stuff forever, that's on you, that's on your strategy. But generally speaking, yeah, when we sell, we like to sell into real estate and other assets.
Yeah, yeah. Assets are key. I mean, especially with inflation, you don't want your dollars to just sit there and lose value every
Right.
single month. 10% a year, essentially. Yeah, and I was selling some NFT tokens. There's a lot of NFTs. You could stake them. I don't want to name them, because I'm not here to like FUD projects. The coins are down, but I was in Rare Bloom and I was in Vegas at the CNFT con, and I'm talking about Cardano NFTs and telling everybody there to sell. You got to sell. You're earning this free token and they're going to pay you. You swap it in for ADA. You got to start selling these tokens. And they're looking at me like, well, is it going to go up forever? And then, I've been looking at these coins and they've basically been down for 2 weeks straight. So if you listen to me, you're sold on the way up. You're a lot better positioned because it is good to take profits. And if you do believe in a project, you don't have to feel bad about selling at the top, because if you do believe in it, you're going to buy more when it's down. If you're like me and you want to stay with it, and you would like to not buy the top every time.
Yeah.
All right. Tether dollar peg sinks 1.7% as FTX induced turmoil persists. Let's just go to CoinMarketCap and maybe we'll check on it one more time. I do want to check out. Are we still at $1 here?
Yeah, I don't put a
99.8.
Yeah,
still looking good.
Yeah, then it bumps right back to $1. I don't put I mean, we can look into the story. This is Tether FUD is something that's been around as long as I've been in crypto. I don't put a lot of weight on this. I've seen it process huge volumes. There was
I think that quick fall, I mean, you can see it right there. It did fall close to 97 cents. I think that was about what they could deploy.
Right.
And again, me and TJ, maybe they do have another secret stash that they're going to be like, aha. But when you typically see this, they kind of dump it all at once to do max pain. That might have been max pain.
Yeah,
I'm feeling like it was.
And you can see even further back on the chart, there was another time where it depegged even on that same chart up there. If you look up, I mean,
yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah, I mean, look at that depeg.
Yeah,
and that one's a lot scarier.
But when it's really brief, it's just processing. It's just them moving the stuff around. Generally speaking, and we've seen people try to, there is a concept of shorting Tether, and even I think it was earlier in the summer we heard about some big funds trying to take a shot at it. And the amount of volume they were able to process during that time gave me a lot of confidence that it's in good shape. So
yeah, and I felt good about it. And I saw the 97 cents, and I thought about like it's free 3% here, but I didn't pull the trigger.
Now,
I mean,
I will.
You still want to like have risk tolerance.
I was gonna say. Now that being said, nobody seems trustworthy at all within crypto and any bit of this industry whatsoever right now. So unless at this point, unless it's under your mattress or it is your mattress or your car or some real tangible asset, like who knows these days.
Yeah, Tether's 97 cents. I believe it's going to go back up to $1. Are you buying any? No, God, no.
Yeah.
What am I, an idiot?
Yeah.
But no, I do think it is going to go, and it did go up back to $1. Like I had a strong feeling. I actually did pull up my MetaMask. I said, do I have any USDC kind of just floating around? I could just do a little boink. I had like a little bit of dust, and I wasn't even going to mess with it.
Mhm.
And even if I had a giant bag of USDC, I probably wasn't going to do that, because again, this is a very volatile week. You just got to be careful out there. Protect your capital. All right, stablecoin liquidity on curves 3 pool falls to the lowest level since the Luna crash. Liquidity swaps on the pools now its lowest level since May, as traders continue to swap Tether's USDC or USDT for other stablecoins, namely DAI and USDC. This led to its losing its parity with the US dollar amid the market turmoil here.
Well,
the dominant.
This is probably largely Alameda. I mean, this is some of the follow-up people are talking about. The liquidity is going to get sucked up because they were the largest market maker especially for a lot of smaller or newer projects. So if they're stopping market making, obviously for all those projects, all the stablecoin that they did have for the liquidity is now getting swapped, obviously, for other things.
So if you use Coinbase, I mean, you could swap your crypto to dollars and then dollars into the crypto. But a lot of people, they just like to use like a MetaMask or decentralized exchanges, and not just use a fiat on ramp and off ramp every time. But yeah, I mean, there are ways where you can manage your portfolio without having Tether or any stable coin, really. It'll be a hassle if you do want to have something in fiat. All right, Tron, speaking of fiat, one more fiat stablecoin story. Tron-based USDD stablecoin also depegged to 97 cents here around an hour or so ago. It fell. Here's a little breakdown from Look on Chain if you want to learn more about what's going on behind the token. And it looks like a whale exchange. It's really not that much. 4.5 million for the USDD for USDT with this 9935 ratio. and that's when it started to drop its peg. Yeah, that is a little alarming when like basically 5-6 million can do that. The stablecoin does not have that many users compared to UST, so a collapse is unlikely to cause the same damage. The daily volume for the stable is only 150 million. By comparison, USDC is 10 billion. And comparison to that, USDT is even more than USDC.
Right.
And so
by a
it's
lot.
not
by
too,
like 100 billion.
yeah, it's weird that they didn't do USDT there. It
Yeah.
almost makes me like, who wrote this and why? Like, what's your little angle here?
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's Tron stablecoin, and that's something I would definitely be careful with. I mean, there are definitely shaky stablecoins out there right now. I don't know if I'm personally saying I don't think Tether is, but Tron is one of those ones I would keep an eye on.
I don't have any.
Yeah,
do you have any?
No.
Yeah,
I don't
have
really.
any.
I don't interact with the Tron ecosystem all that much, but this is obviously, and I don't know if we're going to get into it. You know, like I said, at the latest breaking with FTX.
Yeah, it's the next story.
All
They
right,
did it. Johnny's on point.
All
With
right.
He's a good seguer. Yeah, the Tron thing, the USDD thing. It's DAI, I think, has the most robust backing, but it doesn't have the liquidity. And so there's like this weight of, you know, who's behind the team, what is their backing, I'm not the player that's going to the Tether Foundation saying, hey, here's $1 billion. Now give me my briefcases of cash. Unless you're those people, like actually, because the people who trade in Tether for money, I don't think it starts below tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions. It seems like every time it's actually in the billions. And so I'm not worried about any kind of bank run. There's not going to be any crazy bank run on Tether because the bank run on Tether would be billionaires liquidating Tether for fiat. And I don't, whales, they don't panic like that. And so I don't see any kind of crazy capitulation event unless it would be an exchange or, I mean, I'll go and say it. It would be a circle attacking Tether. That's maybe the only way I could see it. But I feel like that would just be so transparent. Everybody would see it. The loss of the brand, doesn't equate the value of.
I'll just say this: we've put a lot of energy into fearing about Tether's liquidity and solvency and audits and all that kind of stuff. While meanwhile, we've had exchange after exchange after exchange go insolvent that hasn't been audited. So I think moving towards proof of funds, and I think we're going to talk about that too for exchanges, is definitely the direction we need to go.
All right, Son of Sam, that was a good name. The cancellation, and no, I don't look like John Leguizamo. Okay, I don't know why. I got reminded because he stars in that movie. I don't know who said that. I don't look like John Leguizamo. Nothing against John. Hey, John, we love you. If you want to come on the channel, I'll do an NFT with you, but I don't look like you. All right, the cancellation, not that there's anything wrong with that. The cancellation of the Binance FTX deal sent Bitcoin and the markets tumbling lower yesterday when the statement was released that Binance was pulling out of the deal. The markets crashed while many analysts warned that a bankruptcy could set it back years. Bloomberg reported that FTX is in need of $8 billion in capital infusion for its rescue. Jeez. Is there still hope? Now that the deal is done, or finito, the fate of FTX seems to be hanging by a thread. However, there might be two small sparks of hope. Even if Sequoia doesn't have, even they don't share the hope and already announced that they will write off their entire investment, as revealed yesterday. Temasek, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Temasek.
Temasek might not be the only option to save the sinking ship. It could also be Justin Sun, controversial but billionaire founder of the Tron blockchain, has posted a series of ambiguous tweets promising a solution. Further to my announcement to stand behind all Tron token, we're putting together a solution together with FTX to initiate a pathway forward. Ongoing liquidity crunch, despite short term, is harmful to development investors alike. My team's working around the clock to avert further deterioration. I have faith that the situation is manageable following the holistic approach together with our partners. Stay tuned. Following the recent tweets, TRX is trading for a massive premium on FTX. He said that TRX trading on FTX has resumed, working on withdrawal function. Stay tuned. I would be careful with that whole thing. There's too many. Yeah,
there's some weird stuff going on. Be careful. I mean, there's obviously, like they said, controversial Justin Sun. I saw some rumors that they were, the reason it's trading higher is because that's how they're letting people exit out of FTX right now is through that stablecoin. That's what I was saying when we were covering that stablecoin about the Tron stablecoin. Those 5 million, what was it, 50 million or 5 million you were talking about that was getting transferred over there?
Yeah,
that's most likely a result of what's going on with this right now. So it's literally developing, unfolding as we speak. And I read that Sequoia Capital letter too, and it was pretty wild.
Yeah, and when it comes to Justin Sun, I've said like he's a great trader. He did trade the top of ETH. He buys bottoms and tops.
He's extremely smart.
He's extremely smart. So that's where my admiration kind of lies in is his trading abilities. All right, the largest asset manager and pension fund among those affected by the FTX meltdown. Yep, that's right, BlackRock, and also the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan Board. So that's not great, but yeah, BlackRock, Temasek, Sequoia Capital, and Tiger Global. Basically, all of the largest players.
There it is.
Yeah, Paradigm, SoftBank, Circle, Multicoin, Van Eck. Yeah, it's the who's who. Ontario, the Teachers Board pension. That's the third largest pension fund in Canada. They were in the Series B funding round in October 21. So yeah, there's a lot of people who are going to suffer. Even NFL star Tom Brady and Giselle have suffered losses. I shot a short for the Hit Network. I don't know if it's out now. But yeah, I actually brought up I was like, this is a headline right here.
Yeah.
Because they put a lot of money into it, and they were potentially given FTT. I don't know the details, but if they were given FTT,
yeah,
that hurts.
That's
people joking he's going to be playing until his 50s.
Yeah. I saw that meme. That one got me. It's like that picture, like he kind of looks like Santa Claus, and it's like Tom Brady playing to work off his FTX investment. It's just bad. I mean, I hate to laugh. It's terrible. But
I picked up a little ape. I should have waited a little bit longer. I spent less than $100, just a little DCA. And guess what? I'll buy more tomorrow. Probably not. I'm not buying ape tomorrow. I'm going to buy a little more crypto tomorrow, though. All right. Maybe I don't know. We'll see if it keep pumping. Maybe I'll wait. But Tether freezes 46 million USDT. Have you seen this?
Yeah,
owned by FTX at request of law enforcement. I was looking at this before the stream. Not highlighted here. I'll just kind of read most of it. They froze 46 million of Tether owned by FTX, and they did it at the request of law enforcement. And this was the USDT on the Tron network. Address reportedly belongs to FTX. Tether executive told CoinDesk, "We're starting to receive requests from law enforcement to temporarily freeze assets while investigations occur." So they're not saying the jurisdiction, but I'm guessing America. What would you say?
Oh yeah, I would imagine it's Department of Justice. Who knows? It could be CFTC. I mean, obviously it could be the SEC. There's all kinds of stuff going on here, and I don't think the reason they're asking them to freeze this is all that stuff we were just talking about. I don't think they want to allow them to just be moving money around right now with the active ongoing investigations. I mean, there's a lot at play here from a lawmaker standpoint. I was watching right before we came on the head of the CFTC was just on CoinDesk talking about, obviously there's regulation that's going to come out of this stuff, which we all knew. So I think, this is par for the course. They're not going to just let them keep operating business as usual when it just came out that business as usual was extremely unethical.
Tom Brady invested in FTX US, correct? The contagion is going to spread. I mean, I know they're saying, the users' funds are fine, but there's still ties to Alameda there. So I think they'll be in a better position than FTX International, but they're not, smelling like roses walking out of this deal. Does DZ still like Link? Yes, I still like Chainlink. It's such a large portion of my portfolio. I have like a whopping 11 Link. And so since I do have, 10 whole Chainlink, I can't continue to keep putting money in because you want to diversify, and times like these have really showed the need to diversify. Not only do you want to diversify your coins into, asset classes, maybe a little Bitcoin, a little Ethereum, maybe some gaming tokens, maybe some meme tokens, maybe some DeFi tokens, maybe some L1s, maybe some L2s. You get this nice broad portfolio, and say it's exchange tokens. I had, I think, 3-4 exchange tokens, and guess what? When one goes down, I'm not completely wiped out. And exchange tokens, not only did it was a portion of my exchange tokens, that was a portion of my entire portfolio. So it was a fraction of a fraction, and that's why you don't want to be a maximalist, in my opinion. It's just good to put your eggs in different baskets. That way, because this is crypto, and people be tripping, and they be smashing and cracking all them eggs. And you don't want to be the one with yolk on your face. Yeah, I have 9 whole Chainlink, and so it's a whole lot, and I don't want to, buy too much. That's all. And plus, I still like oracles. Last oracle I bought was on Cardano, C3. All right, I sincerely apologize. Sam Bankman-Fried, his last name is Bankman, breaks silence on collapse of crypto exchange FTX. It was right in front of us the whole time. In a tweet storm that breaks the 2-day period of silence, he offered new details on what he says led to the implosion. He says he's engaging with a number of players in an effort to secure funding, prop up the exchange, and make customers whole. I'm sorry, that's the biggest thing I effed up. Should have done better. Also, should have been communicating more. Transparency. My hands were tied during the duration of the possible Binance deal. So he wasn't allowed to say much during that, pending thing. But It's about 24 hours. Here's an update on where things are. This is about FTX International, the non-US exchange. FTX US users are fine. Treat all these numbers as rough. There are two approximations here. The full story is one, still fleshing out every detail of, but as a very high level, I effed up twice. First time, poor labeling of bank-related accounts meant he was off on his sense of user's margin. He thought it was zero.
We mislabeled it, guys. We had a few $1 billion over here. I didn't realize it was your money, you know. So I sent it over to the other guys, and they traded it and they lost it. You know.
I named the wallet the wrong thing. Yeah. My bad. You know, I still thought it was good. Yeah. Good thing I didn't have my 8 chain link over there. Yeah. Leverage. He thought it was 0. It was actually 1.7. Liquidity. He thought it was 24x the average daily. Then it ended up being 0.8x. Now, we don't know what it actually was against the average daily, but, you know, obviously Sunday could have it 25x in volume there, maybe even 100x of volume. There are a number of players who are on talks with letters of intents, also known as letters of, you know, basically nothing, term sheets, etc. We'll see how that ends up. First, one way or another, Alameda Research is winding down trading. They aren't doing any of the weird things that I see on Twitter, and nothing large at all. One way or another, soon they won't be trading on FTX anymore. And so, yeah, he had a long tweet thread if you want to read it. The reactions were mixed. You know, I mean, I don't know, any position or any exchange CEO in that position is not going to have good replies. No. And so it's yeah, they're coming after him on Twitter for sure.
Yeah, I think it was like BitLord or somebody like that. Like the sorry I effed up speech is what you tell your high school team after you lose a game, not what you tell people after you lost $6 billion. Yeah, sorry guys, I just made a mistake. I mean, he did make a mistake. He made a lot of mistakes over and over and over again, and he didn't want to fess up for him, and he kept stacking them and stacking them and stacking them, and that's what got us here.
Yep. All right. Binance releases wallet address of 69 billion crypto reserve. So they're saying that they're going to share their proof of funds in the coming weeks. So yeah, crypto exchange says it holds around 475,000 Bitcoin and 4.8 million Ether. 17 billion USDT.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out they didn't just say this; they sent links to the addresses so everybody could see it and confirm it for them. They, you know, they listed it. They didn't just tell us this.
Yeah. They actually hey, here's the ad. Hey, on-chain sleuths actually do sleuthing, and as far as we know, no one else said, "Hey, that's my wallet." What are you talking about? No, they're pretty sure it's their wallet. I would put a very, very high percentage bet on. Yeah, this is like their actual numbers. Using Merkle trees, it allows exchanges to store each user's account hash value of assets in the leaf nodes of the Merkle tree. The second step is to audit those assets in the leaf node of the Merkle tree and verify all of the user's holdings by a third party. It's almost like they were doing what, you know, everybody else is saying. Like, isn't just having an exchange, making money off the trades, and, you know, you're basically printing money. Isn't that a good enough business model? Why do we have to like get these funds and try to, you know, instead of making, you know, decent percentages off literally everything that happens on the exchange. Now we got to make multiples. Yeah, you know, we made $10 off of that guy when he traded last month. Let's turn that 10 into 30. They could just literally do nothing and you know, print money. WhatsApp, for reference, had 50 engineers for 500 million active users. That's one engineer for 10,000 customers. One engineer covering 10,000 people. And so I don't know how many people you really need when you're not trying to actively trade funds and invest in all these companies and due diligence and, you know, naming rights. And, you're worried about, you know, shooting a commercial with Tom Brady and giving Greg a Tesla. You know, maybe just collecting fees should have been the model all along. Call me, you know, I know it sounds wild, right? Just printing a small amount of money.
Yeah, I saw somebody else saying that. I mean, it really is sad. Obviously, Alameda is the thing that sank everything here with users' funds being sent from FTX over there. I mean, I did see a tweet like, man, if he could have just taken, you know, because they basically, the long and the short of it is they got wrecked in the Terra Luna stuff just like everybody else, and they were trying to cover that hole. If they had just fessed up and said, hey, it's another big clearinghouse that went down, just like Three Arrows Capital, like we got swept up in it, he'd still have a $40 billion exchange asset business to run. But since he was sending user funds from one to the other, he sank them both, and that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah. All right. OKX KuCoin. I love seeing this story today. Yeah. Says proof of reserves will be ready in a month. Similar protocols are used by Kraken, BitMEX, and Gate.io, and many other exchanges, but were not used by FTX. So Kraken, BitMEX, Gato, OKX, KuCoin. I'm giving them all a pass. Assuming that they all do come forward with these proof of reserves. They did survive the previous meltdown. In an official tweet, OKX stated, "We're hiring Armanino for auditing and will publish an audible Merkle POF ASAP, proof of funds." Company then listed 23 Bitcoin addresses and 13 Ethereum addresses containing some of their reserves here. 69,000 Bitcoin and 2 billion plus worth of Ether there. So they have 69K Bitcoin, so still a large amount there. Let's see, that 50K was seized. It was 3.3 billion at one time. So yeah, at one point that was roughly 4 billion worth. So I mean, it's over a billion. Today's prices probably. CEO announced that they'll be providing proof of reserves in about a month. So good things. I like seeing that. I know KuCoin went through a huge, massive exit of liquidity. I was one of the people that I pulled out a lot of money from, not a lot, but a lot for me. I had a decent amount of money on KuCoin. I pulled out almost everything those months ago when there were rumors of insolvency. Never had an issue. Hit my wallet quickly, timely manner, and had a great experience with it. And given that they don't seem to be trading users' funds to try to collect a 2x, 3x, maybe you're safe there. Maybe again, I'm comfortable. I have a couple alts that I don't like. I have a little XRP on KuCoin. I'll go say it. I never did download the wallet yesterday. I need to do it. It's just been a little crazy. But yeah, I have a little XRP on there. I trust them. I trust them with that. I wouldn't trust them with my entire portfolio stash. I wouldn't trust anybody with my entire portfolio stash. All right, crypto.com to publish audited proof of reserves. So now Crow is going to do the same thing. So everybody coming forward, and this is in the long run going to be a good thing for the space. There's Jesse Powell. I thought it was Kobe for a second. I didn't know what I was looking at. He is saying that we should raise standards to put an end to bad actors. I know Powell, he's essentially saying he's pissed.
Yeah, he came out strong against, because obviously Kraken was one of the ones that they came to try to get saved from, basically people that might have enough money to cover that hole. And I'm sure he just dug in. The more he looked into it, the more he just got really irritated.
And he loves to debate. He loves to debate. He loves to, he was a philosophy major in college. So he does not mind wading in the crazy waters. What was that Slack channel his company had, like guns and ammo Slack channel or
like that,
some wild stuff? I would trust Kraken with my 7 chain link for sure.
And hopefully I'd like to see Jesse Powell step up, and maybe lead the charge on what things should look like moving forward. And now that he's not CEO of Kraken, maybe potentially he's got.
I would love to see that as well. He will definitely be embraced by one ideology and rejected by the other. He is not afraid to share opinions that go contrary to mainstream. And so it would be an interesting fight. It would be more of a like a Trump style personality, not like bombastic, but against the grain when it comes to elites. He's more of a populist style with his what he does believe. From what I've seen, he's been pretty open about a lot of things, like Second Amendment rights, First Amendment rights specifically. And I think he'd be a great mouthpiece.
Yeah, I meant specifically for crypto, like how to regulate crypto. Like he's obviously dealt with it for the last 10 years, on the exchange side. And so now it's stepping away from CEO. He's probably got very good perspective, both from the Bitcoin trading exchange side and, from a regulatory.
Now, the question is then, can he, all right, say he is on the podium. He does have the microphone. Does he only talk about crypto?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm less sure. I think he might inject his politics. And because of that, he'll become a target of people. And then he's a smart guy. He's smarter than those people attacking him. I don't know if he'll just be quiet and meek. I think he might fight back. I think he's a fighter.
Yeah, he's definitely a fighter. And I can see there might be some unpredictability there. I think people like him, Eric Voorhees is another one that obviously he's got less than mainstream takes, more libertarian approach, which I tend, a lot of people in Bitcoin tend to agree with. But people like that standing up and speaking out when it comes to regulation, I think is important, because they're the ones that have the experience and can really speak to it in a way that they have the best take, I think, on the way it should work going forward. And we can see the TradeFi way is not the way to go.
No. Speaking of, are you with Blocktopia still? I say they've been asking for weeks. Are we still with Blocktopia?
No, we've never been with Blocktopia.
Okay.
Oh wait, Blocktopia. I'm sorry, I was thinking BlockFi. We might still have Block. Yeah, we might still have some Block. It's a metaverse project. Yeah, we probably do still have some of that.
Okay. I didn't know if it was an exchange. Should I park my 6 chain link there?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Elon Musk shares Twitter's upcoming plans where Doge use starts. All right. Let's see. I listened to a lot of that Spaces. I didn't catch the beginning, and I haven't listened to the audio. He laid out the plans for Twitter's business since taking over the firm less than 2 weeks ago, according to the New York Times report. There was over 100,000 people listening to this, by the way, and it worked fine. Fundamentally, Bitcoin is not a good substitute for transactional currency. Oh God! Don't let the Lightning Network Maxis hear you say that. He told Time Magazine last December. Even though it was created as a silly joke, Dogecoin is better suited for transactions. However, since Musk has not spoken about or mentioned Doge since the acquisition, it is unclear what exactly he plans to do with the cryptocurrency as regards to Twitter. Wait a minute, did they just lie to me here?
Mhm.
I thought you just said he laid out the plans. Oh, he shared Twitter's upcoming plans. Ah, darn it! But it still didn't say where the Doge use starts. I think Binance would be a better solution, but I wouldn't, say he's not going to use Doge as some sort of payments solution. Maybe like he rolls out Doge usage and Binance Smart Chain usage.
Yeah,
in tandem.
that's kind of what I've said too. I think there's going to be multi-chain, multi-options, and of course Doge will end up being one of them, but probably not the first one.
Yeah. All right. I would love to send my 5-chain link around. All right. Musk's first email to Twitter staff ends remote work. Bloomberg News. So he sent the first email saying remote work no longer be allowed, and you should be expected to be in the office for at least 40 hours per week. I love it. Maybe I'm old school. I don't mind working hard. I know like people love to work like, oh no, it's so much better when I work from home, and it's better. I think people work harder when there's accountability. I think people work harder when they're part of a team. And I think people work harder when their boss is looking over their shoulder. I think that's just human nature. Some people are going to say, oh, well, I'm in a better mood when I'm in my pajamas in my bedroom, and so I get better work done. Maybe, but I don't think that's the norm.
Yeah.
I know that's not a popular opinion. I'm like,
No, I
sound like
tend
something
to agree with you on that one.
yeah, I used to run a business. I
Yeah.
had employees. I think it's like if you've been an employer, you feel more strongly and you agree with Musk on this a lot more.
Even when I'm working for myself, I know I work better when I have a dedicated place to focus and think,
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the place that I work. I'm here to do work, so I have less.
Especially in my
distractions.
20s.
Yeah.
I've been open. I worked for a gentleman's club for a long time, and I didn't work inside there. I ran this promotional program that they had.
Sure.
I paid people to pass out free admission cards. And when my boss, I had like no accountability, I started getting a little lazy. I mean, I think that's just a normal thing. I don't think it's bad to work. Like, call me crazy, but I was listening to This Week in Startups, and he was kind of Jason Calacanis. He was talking about the old tech environment was 60, 80-hour weeks,
Yeah.
6 days a week. You're building something insane.
Right.
You're getting paid $1 million a year. And so you don't mind working hard because you know what? You're going to bust your butt for 5 years, and then you're going to be able to retire. And people, they think that they can just coast into a job that pays $800K or only pays $200K, but then you get $1 million in stock options. And they think they can just, I've seen those videos. I know obviously it isn't like this every time. Here's my day of working in the office, and I start my day and I go to the coffee machine, and then I go sit on this beanbag chair. And then I go to this nice little safe space that has meditative music. And then I go to yoga. And then I open emails for 2 hours. But then I go back and I'm in a spin class. And that's not, forgive
Long
me for saying
tangent.
you don't deserve $800K a year.
Yeah.
There's people out, I've done hard labor. Hit that like button if you've done hard labor and you find it ridiculous that people are like, no, I need to just be able to work from home in my pajamas for the rest of my life. That isn't reality. Okay. Like I've been worked outside, shoveling in the cold, sawing concrete at 6 a.m., landscaping in the July sun, been on roofs, I was a painter, trying not to fall off the roof. Okay. I was getting paid peanuts. You're getting paid $800K to sit on a beanbag chair, and it's ridiculous. All right. We have beanbag chairs here. So Tristan, you're in a beanbag chair yesterday. I'm not talking about you. I sat in the beanbag chair. I'm not talking about my coworkers. No, we're part of a team, and there's like less than 50 people inside the building. So it's a little bit different if you have a campus of 20,000 people. When you have a campus of 20,000 people, there's going to be pockets of laziness. I think that's pretty evident to anybody with the brain. So the first email, he's ending that. So hey, you got to get back to work. You got to work hard. I've heard the SpaceX employees, they work their butt off and they all love it. Why? Because they're like literally landing rockets on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Like they're doing something cool. and people might die if they don't work hard. And so maybe, maybe that's why I was working hard. I might die if I fall off that roof. So, they just can't relate. I'm sorry. Let me put myself in your shoes. It is tough sitting in that ergonomic chair 8 hours. I'm sorry you have to do that. All right, Ripple scores. God, the white collar people are gonna just hate me now.
Yeah.
I'm for the roofers. I'm a roofer, and I worked really hard today for 130 pounds. Yeah, I mean that's most of the world, and yeah. All right, moving on here. Enough attacking soft people. Ripple scores new partner to offer NFT to billions of people.
Wow.
Will it drive the XRP price to $5? Who is this partner? They're now working to provide users to NFTs. They have partnered with Ethereal Labs via the Ripple Creators Fund. So Ethereal Labs is going to be joining the space here and allow them to, it looks like the two players, they help establish celebrities and other household names enter the NFT space and bring the XRPL into the metaverse and gaming space. Previously, they chose to integrate with the XRPL. The founding partner and CCO said the partnership will allow NFTs from globally recognized brands, licenses, rights, IPs, individuals. Yeah, Ethereal Labs, they're one of those people, like if you're a celebrity and you're like a pop star, you'll use them. There's a lot of companies, like I think Gary Vee does it. They'll basically, like, they're the one-stop shop for NFTs. You go there and, hey, you're Madonna, like here's your Bored Ape. Now, like, get ready to do a little thing with Beeple. It's not like just Beeple alone. There's big, it's almost like VC funds, like the high level, like more of a agency for like Hollywood.
That's what I was gonna say, management agency, something like that. Yeah.
So it's kind of more into that line. It's not the degens like me. It's not the real builders. It's not the people that like live in Twitter spaces. It's kind of like the celebrities coming in for a cash grab. There are a few celebrities that actually like the ecosystem. Scottie Pippen is like weirdly one of them. Like Scottie Pippen's like hanging out in spaces. So yeah, shout out to the goat with the long arms there. Defensive player of the year 1992, I think. I don't know if it was 92. Someone look that up. All right, I think that's all we got. Today's been a little bit better day. We're feeling a little bit better. We're feeling a little bit more bullish. If you feel a little bit bullish, you're off the ledge now. Go ahead, hit that like button. Let's get this positivity out there. Let's spread this positivity. Let's spread the message that crypto is the future. And the right players, they're washed out all the bad actors. The bad actors are gone. It's up only from here unless we go down lower. I'm hoping we go up, though. That's all I got. Easy out.